Right then folks, I thought I'd give my tuppence on the Boris Johnson palaver on Twitter. There's always a Boris Johnson palaver on Twitter. It's either him, Katie Hopkins, Nigel Farage, Tommy Robinson, or one of the Trump family who are in trouble on Twitter because Twitter doesn't like them. These are the right-wing bogeymen, the conservative bogeymen and women whom the left don't like for wrongthink. So anyway, he's in trouble with the Twitter hate mob because he said this. Look at what we've done already. We've transitioned away from coal in my lifetime, thanks to Margaret Thatcher, who closed so many coal mines across the country where we had a big early start and we're now moving rapidly away from coal altogether. Now that was a conversation that Prime Minister Boris Johnson had with people, a group of people regarding climate change. And his point there was that Margaret Thatcher gave the country a big, massive head start in the fight against climate change, because as we all know, and it's a fact that the coal mines, coal power, produces a lot of pollution for the atmosphere. So the Twitter hate mob, and it's really weird, isn't it? It's ironic, Twitter hate mob. They're on here, the lefties on social media, fighting hate speech and hate and deplatforming and doxing, whatever, conservatives for having wrongthink. Yet here they are on social media being anti-social, giving out addresses, telling people to go to other people's channels to deplatform them because of the spreading hate or whatever it is we're meant to be doing. And here they are, the most hateful people of the lot, the lefties. And they're on Twitter expressing their faux outrage and sympathy to the miners who lost their jobs during that time in the 80s. And the miners were pawns. They were pawns in a game played against a democratically elected government to get them toppled by Marxists, Unionists and Arthur Scargill. And by the way, Arthur Scargill did very well for himself during this time, but that's another video. So in a nutshell, Margaret Thatcher closed the mines because it was really expensive to run. The government couldn't run them. And it was all politics. It was all politics at the end of the day. It was nothing to do with climate change. And the lefties can say whatever the hell they like about Margaret Thatcher. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon even came out and slagged her off as usual. I'd expect nothing less from wee Jimmy Cranky up north. Yes, Margaret Thatcher was harsh. She said herself of her policies, the medicine is harsh, but the patient requires it. The medicine was her policies and the patient was Great Britain, and Great Britain needed it because the unions who had the Labour government by the balls in the 70s dragged this country into the breadbasket of Europe. We were the poor man of Europe. We were a laughingstock. Right? The Labour governments literally bowed to the union leaders who held all the power. And of course, governments need votes and where to get more votes, but the working man and woman, and the unions had control of the working man and woman. And Margaret Thatcher recognised this, and the unions had to be dealt with. They wouldn't be negotiated with, they couldn't be reasoned with, so there's only one way to deal with them, and that was that. The country had to transition away from coal anyway, because it was expensive, and the whole thing became a massive mess. But Margaret Thatcher, the government, the elected government, won. Now, we Jimmy Cranky, Nicola Sturgeon up north, the poison dwarf, the EU stooge, can say whatever the hell she likes about Margaret Thatcher, but Margaret Thatcher, despite her faults and her greatness, she never took away people's free speech. She never told you what you could and could not say, unlike that stupid bitch up north who's taken people's freedom of expression, freedom of speech away from them, this stupid hate speech law that's like a cancer going through Scotland at the moment. So anyway, the politics bit aside, the big massive thing about Margaret Thatcher on Twitter trending at the moment, despite the usual hateful shit about the lefties laughing about her, that she's dead, kind of gentle politics, anyone, is the climate change issue. Now I can guarantee you this, folks, if those coal mines were still operating and running today, and the lefties being the fanatics that they are now in 2021, then I guarantee you these hateful idiots would be outside each and every coal mine protesting and demanding they be locked down, closed down, the miners redundant because they don't care about people when it comes to their agenda, because of the fact that coal is bad for the environment. I don't doubt at all you would have Twitter campaigns, you'd have social media groups dedicated to closing these things down. You'd have Antifa out there, you'd have Black Lives Matter there as well for some reason, because and also Greta Thunberg would be there telling them, how dare you steal my highly wealthy and privileged childhood from me because of reasons. and any miner who dares protest or speak up about it would be labelled a racist Nazi Tory, simply for trying to hold on to their jobs. You know it, folks. I know it. It's 2021. That's how it would be now. So all these idiots, this howling hate mob on Twitter, on social media, they can go on and on and on about the poor miners and climate change, but, you know, now they'd be completely against them. Anyway, that's what I think about the whole issue. That's my tuppence. That's my unpopular opinion, but I'm allowed it so far. If you like what I do, then please comment, share, subscribe. You can support me if you like by buying me a beer. Links down below. Until the next video, Roger Trout.